Brendan Schaub had some advice for Ian Garry after Ian stated that women should run the world last week on the High Performance podcast. Brendan thinks Ian should just shut up and fight.
God damn, he's bad. And these cuck outlets he's going on, it's, hey man, do you know the UFC fan base? And some of them, I'm like, he's trolling when he's like, the world would be so much better if it was ran by women. It's like, hey man, you know, I'm sure you and your wife talk about things at night. That doesn't mean you should use it to promote a cage fight against the pound for pound #1 guy in the world. He should only be allowed to talk about fighting. You know how people tell LeBron James, shut up and dribble? I never agreed with him. I'm like, come on, man, there's people too. You gotta let them express themselves. Until I heard Ian Garry do an interview, I went, oh, shut up and fight. Oh, shut up and fight. Because you're turning everybody off and nobody's buying this. Nobody's buying this shtick. No.
Navajo Sterling is set to face Jan Blachowicz this weekend at UFC Belgrade. Sterling is currently ranked number 10 in the light heavyweight division, while Blachowicz sits at number 13. In an interview with Home of Fight, Sterling says that if he gets past Jan, he wants to fight either Khalid Rountree or Paulo Costa afterward.
Khalil Rountree, depending on his injury timeline here, maybe makes sense next with win.
Oh yeah, massive. Him or Costa for sure. Well, whoever's available, I don't really give a shit, to be honest.
Now, why Paulo Costa? Why is that one of the names? You did like his style, the way he talks and chirps and stuff?
Yeah. I think it'll be a mad one. I still remember, watching him years ago, and to match up with him would be good too. I'm not looking that far ahead, but I'm just solely focused on the present moment, which is obviously fighting.
Today, ALF Global released an interview with John Jones. John claims that while filming ALF Reality, Daniel Cormier told him that he doesn't actually hate him and only keeps their rivalry alive for business. John also claims that he's never taken steroids.
I don't recall having a moment of shaking hands or not shaking hands with DC. I would shake his hand if I had the opportunity to. I attempted to create some sort of relationship, a positive relationship with him multiple times throughout the TV show. One time we were sitting down on the couch together and I said, isn't this nice for us to just sit here, no problems, just enjoy the moment? And he goes, yeah, this is nice. But he said, John, being your enemy has made me too much money over the years. So I say, even though I have no problem with you, when the cameras turn on, I can never be your friend in front of people. People thinking that we hate each other is very lucrative to me, and I want it to be like this. And I said, okay, all right, cool. But I respect him for telling me that he actually doesn't hate me. To him, there's a part of it that's business. There's probably another side inside of him. I'll never be his favorite person. I'll never be his favorite person because I beat him in a time where he was considered one of the greatest fighters on the planet. Yeah. I'm the one person that has come between him being considered one of the greatest fighters ever. Myself, and I guess Stipe Miocic, right? Never took steroids. There's a supplement found in my body. It was proven to come from a supplement company that I was using. It was a Tainted supplement that I was using. The amount of this substance that was in my body was so small that it took very expensive scientists to be able to even find it. And the supplement that was found in my body has zero performance enhancing effects, zero. And that's very well documented. And for some reason, the fans, they ignore all that. And they're just like, something about steroids. He's guilty. There's no way he could be. I never did. And that was proven. It's funny because the fighters like to be like, John Jones is a knucklehead. But then they're like, but he's brilliant enough to do steroids and trick the UFC scientists. It's like, which one is it? Am I the knucklehead or am I the mad genius who...
Paddy Pimblett has been getting roasted for how much weight he's put on since his 52-second submission win over Benoit Saint-Denis just over 2 weeks ago. Paddy did an ad for SSG Secure yesterday, and fans let him have it in the comments.
What is happening, people? Just want to say thank you very much to Stevenson Security Group for putting all the cameras on our house, and they're the best about nationwide. And if you DM them saying Paddy, they'll even give you 20% off. So be fast, people. Only a limited number.
To read off the top comments on that post, nah, he'll pass the heavyweight to overweight, I think. God damn. Looks like Paddy is ready for his fight against John Jones. This must be an old advertisement. He can't be like that already. Paddy vs Jamal Hill in a hot dog eating contest. Damn, what's it been? 2 or 4 weeks and he looks 300 pounds. That's Chris Griffin, and damn, he was hungry after that fight. John Jones reveals 7 times F1 champion Lewis Hamilton called him a coward and blocked him on Instagram.
I will give you guys a funny story though. Lewis Hamilton. I went hunting years ago with a bunch of Army Rangers, and we ended up hunting pigs from a helicopter using AR-15s. I was so proud of myself because I killed one of the pigs from the helicopter, and my pig was donated to an underprivileged family in the community. But Lewis saw me shoot the pig from the helicopter, and he wrote me a long message saying that I was a coward and that he thought that I was better than that. Said that the traditional way of killing animals should be with a spear or with a bow and an arrow. Only a coward could shoot an animal from a helicopter. So give the animal a chance to fight you back at least. He unfollowed me and he blocked me. And it sucked because I was his fan. Lewis, if you're listening, I'm sorry, man.
Kenny Florian thinks Paulo Costa should fight Ulberg next.
As I watch the main event, I'm wondering at what point Dana White may have shut it off. It became almost unwatchable very early on, you know, and I say that with respect. I think maybe Ankalaev a little gun shy after that minute and 20 seconds, I believe roughly what happened last time out with Poatan. I have great respect for Ankalaev, but ultimately, Kenny, I think you nailed it in terms of the risk, but wasn't a super entertaining fight. Certainly he has all the skills, but juxtaposed to the flyweight division we're talking about, this light heavyweight division feels like it really is there for the taking. And that's why when I laughed when you said Paulo Costa, I'd love to see him. And
who do you think will be next for Carlos Ulberg?
You know, I would go with Paulo Costa.
There
I would go with Paulo Costa.
There lies the rub.
This is exactly what the division needs. They need a name. They need excitement. I don't care about this division. I really don't. I want to, but I don't. And I need someone like a Paulo Costa who looks the part, who plays the part, who is hilarious on social media, but when he fights, he goes out there and looks for the knockout, and everything he throws looks like spectacular. So he's a tremendous athlete. He knows how to excite the crowd, and when he's on his game, boy, he is going to be tough to beat. So I think he can steal that spot. You know, yes, I think Ankalaev probably deserves it based on what he has done. But we know that this is a business, and the UFC is looking for guys that are going to go out there and put on a show. And Costa is that.
Islam Makhachev got 2 guys at his gym to cut their hair.
Why you wanna cut this hair? Za fotku Islam ili čo? Za fotku? Hey, you don't need this person. Sam sent him to 2-3 years Dagestan. У тебя что, на голове взрыв макаронной фабрики, что ли?
No, not me, brother. No.
Hey, you promise, brother. You promise.
I'll take it off.
Are you sure? Brother, you don't look good. Be careful. Ма, держи. Я даешь слово? Слово даешь? 10 лет. Я подпишу.
3 лет осталось.
Like this, 10 years.
I have to say the photo every year.
No. Just you give me word and for me is enough. Okay.
I'm running out. Wow. You see, I see you pulled us.
Брат, ты чё за некрасивый, ты назад? Чё за у тебя рожа стала, брат? Тебе сколько лет? Сколько лет? 20, брат.
Guys, today for these 2 brothers we make good haircut.
2 years, 2 years.
I swear you look better.
You're joking.
I swear.
Find me wife now.
From Uzbekistan?
Uzbekistan.
Maybe somebody call you. Okay. Thank you guys. We make good. Assalamu alaikum. Look, we make for them haircut.
Former UFC title challenger and current MMA analyst Anthony Lionheart Smith has been arrested in Nebraska on 3 felony charges. According to ESPN, TMZ, and local Nebraska outlets, a warrant was issued on Monday, and Smith turned himself in on Tuesday night. He's being held at the Sarpy County Jail. He's facing 3 charges. The most serious one is domestic assault, causing serious bodily injury, which carries up to 20 years in prison. On top of that, he's charged with making terroristic threats and first-degree false imprisonment. Right now, police haven't released the details of what actually happened. No bond has been set yet, and Smith and his team haven't made any public statement. Sean Strickland says he avoided drinking and drugs because he believed drugs are for black people.
Libertarian, I think you should go buy meth if you want to buy meth, but man, it is so fucking wild. I never drank. One of the things that saved me from not drinking and doing drugs was my grandfather was so racist, and even in American History X, they would there's a scene where they get mad at them for doing drugs. So I always thought that drinking and drugs, well, one, it reminded me of my dad, which I hated, and then it was reinforced by I thought the drugs were for black people, so I never did it.
Armen will Indian fitness influencer Ankit Baiyanpuria in a submission-only match on August 1st. Brendan Schaub, Garry should just shut up and fight.
She's my earth angel. She is my earth angel. She is the person who, when I need guidance, I go to her. And I feel like any smart man in the world should look at his wife and know that that's the person I need to listen to. If the world was run by women, we'd all live in a better world. It would all be simpler and easier. That's the fact of the matter, whether you want to agree with it or not, or you think whatever it is, if women ruled the world and we just listened to them and let them take over, it would be an easier.
God damn, he's bad. And these cuck outlets he's going on, it's, hey man, do you know the UFC fan base? And I'm like, he's trolling when he's like, the world would be so much better if it was ran by women. It's like, hey man, I'm sure you and your wife talk about things at night. That doesn't mean you should use it to promote a cage fight against the pound for pound #1 guy in the world. He should only be allowed to talk about fighting. You know how people tell LeBron James, shut up and dribble? I never agreed with him. I'm like, come on, man. There's people too. You gotta let them express themselves. Until I heard Garry do an interview, I went, oh, shut up and fight. Oh, shut up and fight. Because you're turning everybody off. And nobody's buying this. Nobody's buying this shtick. No.
Jorge Masvidal believes Chanko is going to be a F-King big UFC star.
On pork. Chanko keeps it up, he's gonna be a fucking star, bro. He's gonna be a household name.
It's how fast do you
Yeah, how fast do you push this guy?
So put him somebody in the top 15.
Yeah. Big Draco just said Fazeev, and I'm all for it.
Oh my gosh. That would be fun.
That's a good one, man. Good one.
Chanko all day.
Younger, hungrier right now.
And a little bit more polished, I think, on the feet too, especially in MMA. People in the chat are saying Drew Dober.
That would be a fun one too.
That would be a fun one.
Dober's got big power, most knockouts lightweight division.
And Chanko does get hit. I think he got dropped in the Contender Series fight.
I think Chanko stops him.
I say we put McMillan against him. Put McMillan up.
Well, he's
45. 45. Let's just put him up there.
We can just do it. Just do it anyway.
Sean O'Malley backs Islam Makhachev because his sharp striking matches his elite wrestling. Garry now has to survive a complete fighter with a deadly game plan.
I don't think he really fought anyone like that. But dude, I just still feel like if anyone get it done. But Islam can throw hands, good, skilled, technical. He's sharp.
Garrett Gross says Garry's movement could test Islam. But if Islam closes the distance and starts wrestling, Garry's chances disappear fast.
I think it's a tough fight for Ian, but he's also a different type of test for Makhachev. I think the odds should be a little bit closer just because he's really tall. He's not afraid to have a boring fight. He will move on you nonstop. He's a little hard to take down. So if he keeps it standing, I think we got an exciting fight. So it's an interesting fight. I think it should be a little.
Brendan Shaw believes Garry has no chance because nobody in MMA is favored against Islam Makhachev. That warning makes Islam game plan look even scarier.
It's going to be Ian Machado Garry versus Islam, which is interesting.
Very interesting fight.
But
it's a very interesting fight. Listen to me.
No, let me reframe the question. Who out of 1 through 10 would be favored to beat Islam? The answer is
Luke Thomas says Islam Makhachev barely faced real danger in his last fight. If that form continues, Garry could be walking into Islam's easiest title defense yet.
Islam Makhachev will probably be your pound-for-pound #1 fighter in the world after this. Obviously is now a two-time, or I should say a two-division, not simultaneous, but has belts in 2 different divisions, and is now the reigning, as we indicated, welterweight champion in his first fight up at 170 pounds. There's a lot to say about the fight itself. I think I want to start with what I saw out of Islam. Honestly, this was kind of easy for him. Easy is not quite the right word, but I mean, because the preparation is hard and it makes them very, very prepared. But like in terms of the adversity that he faced in this contest, this is not even his hardest UFC fight.
Michael Bisping warns Ian Garry that Islam Makhachev is dangerous everywhere. Wrestling, submissions, and knockout power make Islam's secret game plan almost impossible to stop.
Makhachev, though, he's the belle of the ball, Abu Dhabi's finest, Dagestani's champ, and is he starting to maybe come out of the shadow of Khabib Nurmagomedov? That's not throwing any kind of insult towards Khabib. Khabib did it primarily on the ground. Relentless wrestling, incredibly tough ground and pound, and ridiculously strong submissions. Islam now is showing that he's the complete threat. He can get it done in the wrestling department, he can snatch up a submission on the ground, and he can turn your lights off with a head kick as well. As I said, the man is a complete threat.
Ariel Helwani admits Islam Makhachev is the favorite, but says Ian Garry can compete if he stays long and avoids Islam wrestling traps from the opening bell.
Look at that. So they're saying who's going to be holding the belt by the end of this year, December 31st, 2026. 77% have it in favor of Islam, the champ, 20% for Carlos, 19% for Ian. So it seems as though not a lot of faith in Ian right now. Can I tell you what is probably most surprising about this? It's the thought that they think that someone is going to get a crack at Islam if he wins by the end of this year, like someone else. I mean, if history is any indication, it's usually one a year for Islam. Like, you think he's fighting August 15th and coming back by the end of the year? I mean, I guess if it's a really quick fight, but...
It's not going to be a quick fight, I don't think.
It's not going to be. Do you fancy his chances, PT?
I think he has a chance, absolutely. I think, look, Islam's the best fighter in the world. It's a huge task. He'll test Ian in a way that we thought Bilal would, and he didn't. Yeah, so I'm interested to see how it plays out, but I think Ian can have a lot of success if he sticks to his long range on the out.
Joe Rogan says Islam Makhachev's size, strength, and brutal preparation make him a nightmare. Ian Garry must survive that pressure before he can even think about winning.
It's going to be interesting to see because of this 10 pounds is just like, it's a lot of weight, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like when you're dealing with a 155-pound person, it's a significant percentage of your body weight.
Especially when everyone's cutting like 30 pounds.
I don't know what roof he cuts, but when I see him walking around, he looks like he's 190 pounds.
Yeah.
You know, like Islam's fucking huge.
Yeah.
He's big, dude.
Yeah.
When I interview him in the cage afterwards, I'm always like, how?
Really?
How are you 155?
Yeah.
How?
I know.
How?
I know.
He's thick as fuck. He's got a giant back.
Yeah.
And when he gets a hold of guys, it's like he's just got this lever.
Ian Garry believes this is the ultimate chess match. He says neither he nor Islam Makhachev has ever been fully figured out. And now both undefeated minds finally collide. Garry is confident his experience, performances, and belief will help him solve Islam's puzzle.
But I am one of the greatest of all time. That the body of work, the performances I've done, and the names that I've fought, and the way I've gone out and beat people, means that when you talk about the greatest of all time, my name's in that conversation. What excites me about this fight is the fact that no one has solved this puzzle. No one has solved his jigsaw puzzle, and no one has solved mine. And both of us are going to win now and try and solve each other's puzzles. And I'm excited for that because it's something you don't see a lot in the UFC. We don't have a lot of elite level competition meeting each other at their undefeated stages in life, so I'm excited for that.
John Jones believes Islam Makhachev has the clear advantage over Ian Garry because elite wrestling gives him control everywhere.
Yeah, Islam's going to fight against Ian Garry next, right? I assume that Islam's going to win that one just because of his wrestling pedigree. You know, to be able to dictate if the fight's going to be standing or on the ground, it's a great gift. Another guy with a strong team behind him, strong faith. I'm not rooting for anyone in that fight because I don't know either one of those guys on the personal level, but I'm assuming that Islam's gonna win.
Daniel Cormier admits Ian Garry has the size, striking, and takedown defense to compete with Islam Makhachev. But he also delivers a serious warning. DC says Garry must stop focusing on bold statements and simply find a way to win, because beating Islam is already difficult enough.
I would encourage Ian Garry to take that approach as he gets ready to go into this title fight. And you know what? The craziest thing is, it is probably the toughest matchup there is right now in this division. Being that Garry is so long, he's got great striking, and he's proven that he's got good takedown defense. So he has the skill set to compete with Islam Makhachev. He has that. He has that in spades, the skill set to compete with the two-division champion. I just think it would be a mistake to tie yourself to something because of a milestone or a goal or something that you put out in front of yourself that doesn't necessarily matter. You just win. Point blank. You just win. And that in itself is going to be difficult.
Ian Garry thinks he's got the tools, but Islam says he already knows how this ends. And plenty of MMA stars think Garry's walking into a real nightmare. Makhachev's secret game plan starts with Khabib. Javier Mendez says Khabib guides every key move, giving Islam a massive edge before Ian Garry even steps inside the octagon.
Believe it or not, for Islam, I always tell everybody all the time that he doesn't need me. He has me as support, but this guy is so well trained and so disciplined that he just needs anybody that's decent around him to propel him. And it's always been, honestly speaking, Khabib. Khabib's been with him right from the very get-go. Khabib's with him now. And another one that's with him all the time is Muslim, his childhood buddy. Those two are very important. I would say I'm probably the third most important for him in working the corner. I've worked all his corners from like 2013 or 14 on up, so I'm important too, but the most important individuals for him is definitely Khabib, number one.
Everything is going very well. We stay in the same gym, like last couple of fights we stay in New Jersey and training in Nick Cotton MMA. It's very nice gym. I have too many my brothers and friends and sparring partner with me. Almost all team is here. We're training together. Khabib is here, Javier is here, and we're training every day very hard to be ready.
And obviously Dagestan and Ireland have a bit of history with Khabib and Conor, obviously Paul Hughes and Usman over in PFL. You're preparing for another Irishman yourself. What do you make of he as an opponent and kind of carrying on that rivalry between countries?
This is just like a regular opponent, nothing some between country, but still we have 2-0 now. It's gonna be 3-0.
We're gonna fight again at some point. I've already told Practice this. I'm gonna win the belt against Islam. I'll defend it against Shavkat, and then I'll fight Practice in Brazil. I'll beat him. I'll knock him out. I'll leave it undeniable that I'm better than him. And then what Practice can actually do is he can sleep at night knowing that Ian...
Alexandra Volkanovski explains that Islam Makhachev grappling is built on constant pressure, smart positioning, and staying one step ahead.
We're talking grappling. Who's going to be more effective in this MMA world? I believe it's going to be Islam. Islam, again, he's all about breaking down positions, mechanically breaking you down. Keys and principles, being in the right position while you're building up, taking away the things that you're trying to do to build yourself up, just constantly being a step ahead. That's why it's going to be hard to just throw submissions to guys like these, because they are always trying to systematically break you down, get you out of position. As soon as you try and get to a certain position, he's stopping that. He's breaking you down. He's grabbing the post. You're trying to turn this way. He's going to pull you back the other way. Little things like this, constantly being ahead of the...
Khabib Nurmagomedov has complete confidence that Islam Makhachev will capture another huge victory.
I'm going to fight for the second belt, This is what we call father's plan, And I think I'm doing good. I'm doing not bad. Everybody winning, everybody on top, and it will be beautiful things when next week Islam.
Alexa Pereira went drifting with influencer Angelina Demova in her Porsche and begged her to slow down.
Hey, let's go, Shama.
Ready to see you. Slow, okay? Slow.
Slow?
Slow.
I don't know how to drive slow.
Porra é essa? Que isso, velho?
Wait.
Quebrou o carro, essa porra.
What was this?
Chama.
Shama.
Slow.
Slow, only slow.
Jorge Masvidal is hoping Islam Makhachev manhandles Ian Garry.
Makhachev taking on Ian Garry. Can Ian Garry get it done?
Nah, I think he's getting choked to sleep. That's what at least I'm hoping for. I hope Makhachev goes in there, manhandles it, gets his neck, and says, man.
Before I start making any picks or how I think this fight's gonna go, I need to go back and see Ian Garry fight some wrestlers, see his takedown defense, see his wall work, his get-ups. I need to see a little bit more, just refresh my memory on his grappling, because obviously Islam's gonna drown him, I think, but I need to see how good he is in those positions.
He's not bad defensively.
He's long. He's
took
tall.
him down, right?
Schaub took him down, I think, but he had a lot of attempts. I think he took him down twice. His defense isn't bad, and his footwork is, I think, what keeps it amazing, but he's never grappled with a guy like Makhachev that has the sweeps, the inside trips, the upper body.
The best thing that he's got going for him is that he's not afraid to have a boring fight. He's not afraid to footwork run nonstop.
That's true. Islam, you're talking.
Air jab.
No, Ian. He has no problem running from you the whole damn time, just touching and
jabbing at you.
Well, he's gonna have to stay long and stay away from Makhachev.
Yeah.
I just saw a clip of Islam saying, like, how you preparing for this fight? He goes, I've been running a lot because I'm going to have to be chasing.
Daniel Rodriguez is set to face Euros Medic this weekend in the main event of UFC Belgrade. This will be D-Rod's first fight back since being arrested and incarcerated in Mexico. Medic is coming off 3 straight first-round knockouts, and D-Rod says the key to victory is surviving the early storm in the opening round.
The journey has been a long journey. It's been a long journey. Definitely embracing everything and soaking it all in, and it's amazing to be back. This fight is very special to me. Obviously, headlining my first UFC fight, coming off of a little layoff, but I'm definitely feeling like I'm soaking it all in, and I can't wait to the fight. Seeing myself on a poster is definitely a dream come true. It's something, like definitely as a fighter, like we all dream about headlining a UFC fight. It's amazing, and it's an amazing opportunity. And I'm just super grateful to be here. Yeah, definitely. He's a first round fighter. I believe going in there, I just got to be aware of, just use my good defense and stick to my game plan. Which is like, jab him up and win the round and outstrike him. Definitely weathering the first round is key to victory for this fight. I don't think that he's made it out of the first round very much. He's very much a first round fighter. So I think after the first round, I think definitely is like where I could pick up the pace and see where he's.
Sean Strickland made an appearance on the Sean Ryan Show and once again went off on Bud Light for dropping Dustin Poirier. Following his airport arrest, Dustin revealed they immediately terminated his contract and he lost hundreds of thousands of dollars because of it. Where do things stand between you and Bud Light?
Between you and Bud Light?
No, they terminated my contract immediately.
Oh. I'm sorry to hear that.
I mean, it sucks that my family loses out on the money I had left on the deal with them, which is a few $100,000, but also if I'm representing something that I'm not going to be, if I'm advertising something I'm not going to be taking part in and promoting stuff that, it's just, it is what it is.
Sure.
He said to a black cop, but he gets a pass. Nobody cares. I thought it was great, but he was really torn up by it.
You guys have some history, don't you?
I made fun of him, but I make fun of everybody. He went out and said, like, I was depressed, and I was like, get the out of here, bro. You're depressed. You're a rich white man. I think Bud Light's gonna release him. It made me so mad. Like, how much of a piece of are you, Bud Light? The moment something bad happens, we're like, you get a little shame because you got drunk on a plane and try to fight a black cop, which is funny. He's not racist. You want to terminate his contract? They should have reached out to Dustin and said, hey, Dustin, man, you might have a problem with drinking. We're a beer company. We sponsor you, but like, can we help you? That's not what they did. They're going to say, you used our product and you f***ed up. Get the loss. We don't want that back.
Sean Strickland also went off on Ali Abdelaziz. Sean reposted this clip to his Instagram story. He wrote, all documented in a book called Enemies Within. The FBI didn't trust him as an informant. He was forced to take a polygraph and failed.
He is like the weakest man in the world. So there's this manager, Ali Abdelaziz, one of the biggest managers in the UFC. Spoke at Trump rallies. Let me tell you this guy's backstory. And by the way, he's best friends with Cash Patel. He gets arrested after 9/11 with a bunch of passports. He's locked up on felony charges of like falsifying information. He gets approached by the FBI. They have him as a high-paid informant spying on some like Muslim Brotherhood. By all information known, this mother is a snitch terrorist. You just look at these things, you're like, you guys, like, what the?
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you never miss the latest MMA news. And I'll see you in the next video.